Okay, welcome to our first Cisco Security class. We're going to be starting at port security. So we need to secure this particular port. So we'll build this narrative for you. Imagine you have 24 ports on your switch, or 48, whatever it could be, and you've configured your switch. You've got your VLANs, you have your trunking, you have everything configured nice and smoothly. But you've got some ports where they're not used. You don't use them often, or you have other ports that are connected to outlets somewhere where a member from the public can come in and just put their own device in, or someone has found a way to socially engineer their way into your facility, and all they do is just get an RJ45 cable and insert into the port, to the outlet. Now that means that they've got access to your particular machine in that case. So what we can do is we can lock down, we can secure, we can harden our device so that when a malicious hacker or malicious actor comes along and plugs into that particular port, we can shut it down, because we're configuring that port to see that a new MAC address has arrived, has shown up on the CAM table, and it's not what we wanted. We don't want this. So let's have a look. So I've got my I've got this configured already, but don't worry, we're going to start from scratch. We're going to create our own. I'll pause the video, then I'll remove this, open a new one, and then we'll start again. But ideally, what I want to show you is at the moment I've got a secure PC. Should be one, but that's 1, 2, and 3. I've got PC4, which is on another device, so we can keep communication happening. So they'll try and find IP addresses through DHCP. There'll be an IP address, so we're not looking at IP at the moment. But I've got this secure 2 PC connected to the first port. Let's have a quick look at it. If we just expand that a bit, and we can have a look. I'll just do a I'll do a let's have a quick look at this. So we'll do a show IP interface brief. We'll see that we've got our 2 ports running at the moment. My favorite command, by the way. By the way, anyone who's new to my YouTube or my blog coming in, we're doing security, Cisco and security. So basic configuration I'll do another time. These are just for those interested in basic level Cisco security. Alright, so now we've got that up and running, and we can, we'll just end this and we'll go up. I've just already configured some. So if I show port/security interface, it will show me that I've already set up sticky addresses, and we'll get to exactly what that means very shortly. And if something happens that's not supposed to happen, it's going to be disabled. It will be in a disabled state. If we go to the next command, which is just show port security just as it is, it will show me that I've got a maximum security address, so I can have 3 sticky addresses. And at the moment, I've used 3. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, just a 1, 2, 3. These 3 guys over here. Maybe if I can get somewhere else. So these 3 here. Okay, this is a rogue device. So what I've done is I've connected all of these 3 devices to the switch already. So it learned these addresses dynamically. But when the 4th one comes up, show what happens. Let's have a look. Let's connect it to the 4th device, and it will think a bit. Let's move this one in here. So it's going into a down state, trying to go back into an up state. And again, if this is all a bit strange, right now you're not in the right area in terms of up and down and things like that. But I will be creating other content for anyone interested in that. So it's still having a look. It's still trying to find out a little bit more about this device, and yeah, now we can see that it went into a red state. Now, for a minute there, for a minute I actually paused the video because I thought I incorrectly configured it, because I'm thinking it went green. It should not have gone green. It should have gone red, these ones, which means it went into an up state and it didn't. And I thought, no, I've configured this correctly, but it just took a little bit longer, a little bit slow. But it's in a red state, which means that it's in a down state. And you'll notice here, it's now down. Okay. So if I do this config T and I go into interface fast Ethernet 1, if I do no shut, it won't work. Or if I do something like yeah, so no shutdown. It's still in a shutdown state. We actually have to do something different in this scenario. We have to shut it down because it's in an error disable mode. So in this scenario, we actually have to shut it down and then no shutdown, like re-enable it. So let's shut it down, and I'm doing a lot of shortcuts here. So now it's officially in a shutdown. Now I can do no shutdown, and now it's up again. There's only one problem. I haven't fixed the problem. The rogue device is still there. Okay, so let's watch and see what happens. Let it do its thing. You can also view, if I do, if I just exit out of that, if I just look at the actual the port security, and there's another command that will be very handy. If I look at that, it actually tells me that it's currently enabled. But again, remember, it's not right. It shouldn't be, because it's a rogue device. This is the 4th device. I've configured to have 3 devices that can, their MAC addresses can be stored for port fast Ethernet 01. The 4th one is going to be rejected. So let's have a look at that same command again, which is show port security interface fast Ethernet 01. It will show that port security is enabled. I've got an aging time of 5 minutes, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to do the configuration from scratch, but I'm just giving you a narrative here. And it has shutdown violation mode, and it's showing that it's disabled, like the aging time is disabled now. And this is the last address. Okay, and this is a security violation count. So it works. Now let's set this up from beginning, from go to woe, and we'll see how I'll just pause the video and I'll set this up. All right, so I've just cleared my screen now. What we'll do is we'll grab a couple of so we'll get a couple of switches. Which one should we use? Where is it? Oh, wrong button there. Okay, we will use this one here. Doesn't really matter. They all work pretty much the same. You'll find that on most switches, this is going to work fine. Not sure why it's being a bit choppy here, but anyway, we'll throw in a couple of. We'll put in. You know what? We'll put in 3 computers. We'll do a sticky for 2 computers. Let's throw in a PC there, put another one in there, and we'll put our malicious actor there, that horrible hacker. I'm just going to call it, and I'm just going to write known client and known client 2, and I'm going to write this as rogue. Now, I've learned this the hard way. I don't want you to make the same error, but we actually have to do in packet trace. It's just one of these little things that we have to fix up, but we actually have to enable DHCP. Otherwise, it's not going to ask for an IP address, and if it doesn't ask for an IP address, it won't do the DORA, the discovery offer. It will wait for a static address, but it's not defined. It's just one of those quirks. We'll do them for all of them. Okay, we'll do that for the rogue as well. Or you could statically configure them. It's up to you. Whatever's you're interested in. So, what I'm going to do is, I am going to put in another computer because I want some communication happening. I'll put it into the second port. Okay, so that's good. We'll call it. We'll just call it known client for port 2. Okay, so we know what's going on there. I'm just going to be lazy. I'm just going to select the lightning just to put the right cable for me. Actually, that's not going to be good. We want faster than a 2. Great. So let's jump in to our switch. That's the command line interface. And you can see that it's doing a couple of things already. It's doing up and down, up and down. Yeah. Okay, this is blank. I haven't configured it. I haven't put any security on it. I haven't done anything that amazing. We're just doing port security just for now. We'll do config team. Now, I'm not editing my documents. My video. I do pause now and then if I run into any issues. But I'm not editing. This is like really raw and wild and crazy, and I'll make heaps of mistakes, but which I call learning moments. And I want to show you that in reality, production environments, mistakes happen all the time, and I love them. I love doing them, even in videos. It just means it gives me a way to show you how to get out and fix it. All right, so let's go into int fast Ethernet. Oops, put my caps on for some reason. Fast Ethernet. Now I'm very lazy on the typing. I've got really bad typing skills. I know how to touch type. I've done all the touch typing courses, but I still have these sort of typing errors. Trust me, it's like doctors with their handwriting. The best people in the world, like the smartest, have the worst handwriting. It's like the best IT experts have the poorest typing skills. I don't know if that's true or not. I just made it up. So comment and tell me that I'm wrong. Fine. All right. So now we're going to the interface. So we're going to do this at that particular interface level. Now we could do a range of interfaces, but right now we're just going to do in this just really small demonstration. We're only going to do the one. Okay. So let's do this step by step. So we're in the interface now. I'm hoping that the screen is big enough. I've noticed that. Let's see if I can make this a bit bigger. See if we can change the resolution a bit. Change it to maybe 150. Oops, wrong. Well, I've got 2 screens at the moment, so let me just pause it and I'll see if I can get a better a view of this. Alright, hopefully that's a bit better. If not, then just let me know and I'll send you the step-by-step guide. I might take some screenshots or something like that. But that should be okay. Alright, so we're in our interface now. We're in the faster than at 01, so that's the first port. And at the moment, there's nothing configured. So first things first, we have to enable switch port security. Now, just as a side note, when we're doing the switch port mode, we can have access, or we can have trunk, or if you do dynamic, it's not going to work with switch ports. This particular port mode has to be dynamic, has to be either access or trunk, but it can't be dynamic. So this is going to be an access port. We're not going to do a trunking. So that's the first step out of the way. I'm going to just tab up, again, lazy typer, and I'm going to type in port. sorry, gotta get rid of mode. Port security, maximum. So these are the maximum devices that I'm going to have. Now I'm not going to do 3, I'm going to do, well, that went a bit crazy there. Okay. Alright, so I've got 2 good devices and 1 bad device. When the bad guy, we're being attacked by a bad guy here, so. Alright, there we go, up here. Fantastic. So maximum, so we're going to have a maximum of 2. Let's just hit the tab up, or the up button, not tab, up button. And I'm going to do an aging time. This is just habits. Aging time. So this is just, it's just how long, this is, I think 5 minutes. This is how long it's going to like kind of refresh, I guess, when we want to stick the new MAC addresses. How long do we give it? Alright, 5 minutes. Now, what happens when there's a violation? And depends on where you are. If you're in a high secured production environment where you do not want anyone to come in at all unauthorized, you don't want to have anyone having any unauthorized access, it's going to shut down. But remember, it's shutting down. And if a user who left the workplace or the desk comes back with their laptop and plugs it in, it's not going to work. But we're going to be notified when there's a shutdown. It actually tells us, which is a good thing. There are a couple of other options. Just really quick, I'll go through them. There's a couple. There is, and I had to write this down because I always forget this one. There's protect, restrict. So protect will actually, let's have a look. It actually won't let them in. It won't shut down the port, but it will refuse them access to the port. And restrict means that it will do that too, but it notifies us through like SNMP or syslog, and it has kind of counters as well. A shutdown, which I'm going to do now, which is going to shut the thing down. Then also shut down the VLAN. That's the last option. Now that one is if you're in a really hyper secure environment and you really do not want anyone to go. If like one VLAN, if someone if a port's in a VLAN and someone gets access to it, and it's like banking details, financial details. It's got information that is so secure, it really doesn't matter if we're shutting down the whole VLAN. We don't want anyone in. So you would do that option. But we're going to do the shutdown option. I think that's the best way to see things actually working in a lab environment. I do realize that it's about 18. I'm trying to keep the video to about 20 minutes, but this will probably go to about 30 minutes. By the way, switch port is probably a very, very, very important security technology we should be using. But in production environments, in reality, a lot of organizations don't do this, but because you need a lot of documentation, it's hard work to keep track of them traditionally. But very, very important. So let's go back to this. So we'll shut this down now. No, we're not, sorry. We're going to just have the violation shut down. So now the last step is we need to tell it, okay, it's enabled, but let's say that, so we've got the switch port maximum of 2, I believe, yes. So let's learn dynamically the 2 addresses. I could do this statically, but it's hard work. The first 2, that's good. That'll work. Now, if I have 100 devices, 300 devices, and I want to configure this individually, it's going to be like really messy. You can see my typing skills. So what the sticky means that any devices that have been learned to a limit of say you got 1,000. So you got 1,000 computers. So you put the limit of 1,000 devices, 1,000 sticky address. It will go out. It will learn all the addresses, and store it. And saying anyone that we've learned that has logged on already, up to 1,000, they can come in. If not, we're going to shut this down. Now, very important, we have to save the running config to startup config. So what's running in RAM, we need to store it to storage. Otherwise, we have to keep doing it again and again and again. We absolutely need, and it's really easy. Just do here. I'll just do this really quickly. Do write, piece of cake, done. All right. So, but now let's configure the switch port security MAC address sticky. So now it's going to stick. So any devices that will now attach to this port, okay, up to 2, a maximum of 2. Now let's do that. We'll do this one by one. So I'm going to go to a computer here and just make sure that it's faster than that one. That's perfect. Now let's have a look at it doing its thing. So it's going to, we can see that it's going into an up state. And that's a good thing. Let's quickly just have a look at do show port security. There's nothing going on at the moment. All right, let's do show port security interface fast01. Okay, so at the moment port security is not enabled. Okay, so it's not enabled yet. Okay, it's not quite enabled, but it will be very shortly. So let's continue on with this. We'll jump over to, what we'll do now is we've learnt one address. So let's learn another address. I'm just going to pull this same cable. I could get another switch, I could do that, but which is just a small lab. And let's connect to that now. So then we're going to go into downstate, upstate. So what I might do is I'm just going to do I want to actually see the cam table. Which is yeah, that's right. So I got to show MAC address. That should be good. All right, so we've got the MAC address is working fine now, so that's fine. Now I'm just going to double check a couple more things. Yep, port security is still disabled. So I looked into it and I thought that should not be the case. So that should show up as enabled straight away. So what I did, and this is a learning moment, this is me making a mistake here that I want to show you how to jump out of. If this is the case, then we're doing something incorrect here. So I paused the video and I investigated it, and what I found was this. I do a show running config, which you shouldn't really do. We should be clever enough to find other ways to find information, but I just wanted to do it quick. I can see that I can see the code here, well, not the code, the commands, and I don't see switch port security. I must have forgotten it. So if I go up, it looks like I didn't do it. That's bad, terrible. Oh well, learning moment. Let's do it now. It's all I have to do now. Switch port security. Bam, there you go. Now if we go back to show port security interface F01. Now by the way, for those who want to know what do is, it's if I'm not in if I'm not at the after you sign in or after you enable, it's the first that section you can run commands. If you're in the interface mode or in the executive like after the configuration mode, sorry, then you have to do, otherwise it won't work. So let's have a look at that. Voila, now it's working. Now it's working. I was just scratching my head. I thought, what's going on here? All right, so we will have to go back to there and let it do its thing. We'll have to go back to this other non-client and learn it again because it was disabled. Now that it's re-enabled, we can have a look at that. Let me just do one more check. Beautiful. So the do show port security or show port security shows that we've got it's found 2 addresses and there's currently 1 address. If we had a switch, we could have like 10 addresses there. So it looks like it's still remembered, but let's do it anyway. I'm just going to go again there. Do show port security. And it's telling us that it's learnt 1 sticky MAC address with there's a maximum of 2. Okay, it's still going. That's going to change shortly. Still figuring each other out. Some protocols going on in place. Remember, the non-client. You know what I've done? I've made another error. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have non-client for port 2. I did not want to have this connected there. Alright, so let me fix that very quickly. You know what? Let's just leave it as it is. I'm just going to change the name. Known client 2. What is going on with my spelling today? I don't know, it's really weird today. Duplicates, okay, non-client 2, non-client in port 2. Okay, now let's change that name again. Great. All right, so these 2 guys, they're going to, well, these 2 computers, these CPCs, have now connected to port 1, and it should show us, it did show us that there's only 1 MAC address. That should be 2. And it hasn't. So let's try that again. So F1 enabled. Maximum MAC addresses that we can have is 2. Total MAC address is only 1. And I only learnt 1 sticky MAC address. Alright, let's try that again. Hopefully it'll work this time. Okay. I think I need a holiday. I definitely need a holiday because I'm just getting this all over the place. So I'm going to fix this and I'll be back shortly. So what I've done is now in the real world, in the production environment, I actually sit in front of a switch and I can actually see me plugging it into the physical switch itself. Now I've been plugging this into switch port 2. Or faster than it 2. This guy over here, he's just sitting there relaxing in switch port 1. So you probably picked that up. So known client 1. Okay, this one will be known client, yeah, port 2. So I was right the first time. Now I'm going to use it to this guy over here because that's port 1. Maybe I should put that maybe I should put that over here. Okay. Alright, so now client 1. So this is switch port 1. Hopefully you're still following along and you haven't given up on me. And I'll still look for that now. by the way, why are we even waiting for this? Just press the fast forward button. I need a coffee. I'm having a coffee. It hasn't kicked in yet. I need a holiday. And all right, so let's have a look now. Okay, let's try that. So it still has sticky address 1. So it's still doing that. We want to learn 2. We want to. The end goal is that we want to see that there's 2 MAC addresses that it's learnt. Shouldn't be. Oh, fast forward. I should have done this ages ago. Okay, great. I was considering doing the video again, but you know what? I don't. It's like I don't need to. I don't want to show the world how perfect an instructor can be or teaching. That you can get video courses where they've perfected and they've packaged it really nice, but let's do these mistakes and let's fix them. Let's go through them together and see. You guys probably have picked these mistakes up, you know. And mistakes is okay if you're in a lab environment. You make your mistakes there, so that by the time you go to a production environment, you won't make them there. So that's good. We made plenty of mistakes, but we've recovered now. We're getting over this. Now, in comes rogue. Okay. Now let's put this scenario. The person, just pretend that's a laptop, has left. Okay. Now the rogue, the malicious actor, has found that port 1 is available. Jumps into it. Let me just check if I've configured yet the DHCP. Yeah. So now we'll attempt to jump in. So that the switch is doing everything that it's usually trying to do. Okay. But it should notice, and if it doesn't, we'll have to fix it. But it should notice that this is the 3rd one. Okay, it's not on this list. There's only 2 maximum available, right? It has already learnt 2, so this 3rd one should not work. There's a green button one. What I'm hoping is that's going to go red very shortly. And fingers crossed. If it doesn't, then I've configured this incorrectly. Great. So it's gone red now. Beautiful. No, that's not beautiful. It's terrible. So we've got a hacker on here. All right, now. So that's done. That's finished. The security guards come out because we're getting messages. And they're going to chase the malicious player, this hacker who got in. They're going to try and catch him or her. And they can't. That hacker's gone. Disappeared. Okay. And now we want to give it back to the first client or the second client. Doesn't matter who. One of those. All right. So they're back. But they can't get access. So if I do a show IP interface brief, which is the best command you could ever use, I know that the protocols are still down. Hang on, but we know this person, remember it's shut down. Okay, easy fix. Whenever we shut something down, all we have to do is no shut, right? No. It's still not working. Okay. So what we have to do, because it's in a disabled error mode. Now, there is a way to automatically configure this, but we're not going to do in this video, maybe in another time. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually shut it down. So basically it's officially shutting this down, okay? Then we have to do no shut. That will come up, and if I just press fast forward, we've got, we're back up and running now. If I do a do show IP interface brief, there we are up and running. So that's sticky MAC addresses and port security in a nutshell. The essential goal is, just to reiterate this, just to make sure you've understood this point. The idea of this is we want to physically secure our device so that when someone attempts to plug in physically into the machine, they can't. So what kind of attacks would this stop? There's going to be like a cam table overflow they call, where I can get like a Raspberry Pi, which I've got one here, connected into a switch using Kali Linux and using tools like, and I had to write this down because I forgot the names of these devices. I have to record this. Sorry, these programs. Got in my notes here. One's called, and I've used these before, but I just forgot the name. So apt-get, dsniff, sorry, and mac-of. And there are other devices. So basically, this device connects to the switch, has like a battery and like a power brick, that powers this device. Or you could use a laptop, I guess. And it just basically just pumps the switch full of MAC addresses. And what happens is the MAC address only has space for like 5,000 maybe. And if it goes over 5,000, then the MAC addresses that are already there will be lost. So then the rogue device or the malicious actor, the hacker comes in, can use their own device on the switch, and then they can start sniffing the traffic and viewing the traffic. With port security, we're going to secure that. Now, the last thing I'll say is that, again, I've said this before, production environments don't use this that often, and they should, but it's just hard work. But that's it in a nutshell. I've got some other videos. I have some other episodes like in Microsoft products and Network Plus and other CompTIA. I'm planning on doing a cloud computing shortly with Azure. But if you like these, please subscribe, comment. This is going to be something where I can give back to the community. The community's given me so much that I was able to pass certifications, get like a fantastic job. I'm just giving a little bit back to the community. If anyone wants to focus on anything at all, let me know. And I'm going to do a whole series on Cisco, how to secure Cisco devices. It's really exciting. There's going to be quite a lot involved in there. But anyway, it was nice seeing you all, and we'll hopefully see you all soon. Have a great day.